Hello? Great. Okay. So I'm back. Um, Only real OGs know why I'm starting off like this. Um, Nobody's gonna fucking know why. I'm running until like this video gets uploaded on YouTube. Holy shit. Um, I'm gonna delete the other VOD I had. You all won't know why. Um, Fuck, dude. Yo, I'm a little hungry. Not gonna lie. Um, has it been uploaded to like channels? Processing will begin shortly. Yeah, I'll be back right now. Hold up, let me put my BRB screen. There we go. Yeah, I'll be back right now. I'm gonna. It's just like I'm pretty sure there's like one box of cereal, but it's like Cocoa Puffs. And I'll be 100% with you. All the Cocoa Puffs you got like September, August. Um, have been like incredibly not good quality. One of the cereals was just fucking ripped open from the bag and the inside, and the box is sealed. And it was around the time the Kellogg stuff was going down, which I support workers' rights, but and then like another of the bags had like weird shit in it. Shit away. So yeah, I have a third box and I haven't opened it. I'm like, I'm not opening that shit up. So I don't know. There may be a chance I like just get a banana and I take forever to come back, right? So I'll see you all in a moment. In a moment. Yeah, I'll be right back right now. Dude, I love fucking no, no, Link's Awakening. It's Maryland's theme, I'm pretty sure. Dude, oh my god. Dun, 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 dun. So I'll be back right now. Just please wait like 2 more minutes, and then I'll be back with some oatmeal that I'm heating up. So something happened where Watch Mojo did me dirty in a top 10 list um video. Luckily I didn't show any footage, but I don't know if the audio could get me in trouble. So I don't know if I can say this. I don't know. Fucking hopefully nothing happens. Cause it's just anime. I swear it was just anime. Fuck Watch Mojo. Why'd they do that? Dude, fucking cause like I was like, oh, cause like I do like porn acting voices sometimes for these characters, right? On Fire Emblem. And like I'll show you all what there we go. So there's no music right now because I did off because we were watching a video. And that video is what could get me in trouble, right? So hold up. Once you like start attacking, like, what was his name? Fuck, I want to call him Elf, but that's not his name. Was it Doll or something? No, I feel like we should like try to battle Doll next. Yeah, because Steve doesn't have anything. As long as we live, we're fine. So, hold up. I'm trying to download the VOD so I can just keep it as a fucking meme. Oh, there we go. Fucking finally downloading. No, it just won't. Oh, my color bits are falling down. That sucks, actually. I don't know why my color bits are falling down. Mm. Let's go here. Okay. Just the javelin. I think it's just bad internet. Yeah, because I'm downloading something. Fuck, dude, I hate Watch Mojo. I fucking hate them. If you all don't know what I'm referring to, hold up. Just go click on my VOD from earlier, and maybe like put it before like 10 minutes before it ends, and you'll see why. Otherwise, yeah, you don't need to do anything. We don't care. Okay, now I'm like, cause like I was planning on watching, what's his name, Mr. No, 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 oh my god. No, I want to sneeze again. Okay, never mind. So usually my sneezes come in like, to his, Mr. Nightmare. Yeah, I was just seeing Mr. Creepypasta. And Mr. Nightmare has like visuals, and I'm like, oh fuck. Because I actually want to watch this if I lose this map, or whenever I lose the next map. Right? Because that's how I do it, just to cool off. I'm like, yeah, just like, because like, I get like mad. I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Alright. And like, kind of adding like a buffer kind of helps me out. Bum ba da bum 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 ba dum. I swear them. Oh, that's bad. I'm going to like unpublish it. And you guys are gonna see it on YouTube like 2 months from now or something. Yeah, because like there's not that many what actually what it can do. Oh yeah. We're watching Mr. Nightmare now. Yeah, nah, that's it. Because I've been live for like an hour and 16 minutes now at this point. And it's like, it's like 40 hit. Come on. I should close my PDFs. Like docs me. I have like PDFs of homework open. What the fuck? Sound. We'll come back. Right? Be like a small little react, just one video usually. React mode. Let's yeah, thank God I wasn't watching much. Messed me up. Anyways, this is the new video by Mr. Nightmare. I'm pretty sure I can watch his stuff as long as I commentate over it. Damn. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Maybe giving my own stories and stuff while we watch this video. With the last name like driver, I would imagine somebody's like an Uber driver. I don't know why.
There was a brief period of time that I lived alone. When I
Is that
first
loud enough,
moved
by the way?
out of my parents' house and before I met my girlfriend and she moved in, I lived in a small
This is a scary
one-bedroom
story this
apartment in
time.
the downstairs of someone else's house. I spent a lot of time
That's way
alone
too
in this
loud. Please
period of
tell
my
me.
life, besides when I was at school or work, and so I spent a lot of my time watching movies.
Ooh.
Specifically, I liked watching scary movies pretty often. Even as an at the time 21-year-old guy, I still would be a little spooked trying to sleep after watching a scary movie, especially living alone in that apartment. And every time
Oh
I
my god,
did,
that would.
I would look around the room.
I'll be honest. That kind of sounds like me. Like if I were not living with my parents while going to like university, that totally would sound like me. Oh my god. Wait. I mean, like, oh my god, that makes it sound like I like brought my parents to like live with me at university. No, because like I live in the town that there's a university, luckily, so I go to that just to. He's like, oh my god, wouldn't that be cool though to bring your parents to, like live with you at your university? It'd be kind of cool. But then it'd be like,
At a few
no,
points, I
dad
even
and
turned the
mom, I'm
bedside
trying
lamp
to
on
be
just to check around the
independent.
room.
Trying to get myself
The
from the
tenant upstairs
bootstraps,
wasn't
which
home that
totally
night,
doesn't
as his
exist in
car
this
wasn't in
concept.
the driveway, so the sounds I was hearing
Because
couldn't have been
nowadays you can't do
footsteps
that.
upstairs or anything
You
like
can't just
that.
start a shop without doing
My nerves
taxes
were
and
really
getting
starting to
fucked
set
over
in
by
at
the
that point
competition.
because I just kept hearing noises, and to be honest, I couldn't tell from where in the house they were coming from.
Hmm.
I got up to head over to the door of the bedroom
Also, I got a
and
nasty
opened it.
zip.
Outside of my bedroom was a very narrow hallway, which had a door to the bathroom, and then
See,
at
I
the
knew
end
there
of
was
the
shit.
hallway opened up to the living room. At the end of this hallway, though, like a scene right out of the movie I had watched not
Yeah.
even an hour earlier, there was
Somebody died?
someone standing at the far end
Okay,
of the
fuck,
hallway
yeah.
right
Okay,
by
good.
the kitchen.
Ooh, I was like,
The moonlight from outside coming into the
oh my
bedroom
god,
was
because like, I didn't want him to say somebody died. It's like the horror movies, I'd imagine like there's like a bunch of like stuff like Jason, like fucking getting a knife, stabbing people or something crazy like that. But that's horrible that there's
right
somebody
through
there
the
though.
windows in the living room was enough to see her, this woman
Her?
looking right back at me. She started to walk
No,
backwards while
no,
staring at me.
ah,
I didn't
man.
care though. I still
I
sat
told you
down
come
and
to
walked into
juice.
my room before slamming the door shut and locking it. She didn't come running over and pounding on the door or anything like that. Instead, I heard running up the half flight of stairs to
Yeah,
the exit of my apartment, and then the
fuck,
door slammed shut. I
nasty.
was frozen in shock for at least 10 minutes before I felt okay to take my phone and leave the bedroom to check the apartment.
This
It
video is way
didn't
too
take
dark.
long. It was a small apartment with not many hiding places. It was empty. I rushed to lock the door, wondering who that could have been and how I got in. I didn't call the police. I couldn't tell you why. But the next day, I called the landlord and told him about it. He made a phone call to the upstairs tenant, and what I learned shocked me. The woman that broke into my apartment was an ex-lover of the man who lived upstairs, a crazy
Oh,
one at that. And after finding his address somehow, she
what
broke
the
into the wrong
fuck?
part of the house, my apartment. The upstairs tenant came down to my door and apologized to me that following day, but I never got much detail from him or the landlord. I still wonder what that woman was planning on doing to him.
Oh yeah, dude, that's scary. But totally, it was gonna totally be something like I'm gonna like rip off your finger, right? Type of the thing. Because like I don't think like anybody like I don't think like crazy exes just come to somebody's house without like dropping like some sort of like thing like a flea bomb, right? And just like throw a bunch of fleas at your at your ex boyfriend or something like that, or girlfriend or whatever, right? Oh my god, I'm not getting sick. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. See, like this is what I knew was gonna happen. The fucking my school was gonna experiment with should we come back and then everyone was gonna get sick. Like yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not sick though. It's just allergies. I swear. Around springtime, I just sneeze like fucking crazy. Anonymous, like the hacker
I'm
group.
not a fan of my dad's girlfriend at all. Not from the start. Her name is Kathy.
Uh huh.
My dad has been widowed since 2019 when our mom died. And I know he's gotten lonely and he's pretty much ready to settle with anybody now.
Hmm.
Even Kathy. And against my warnings, he doesn't listen.
Yikes.
I've been seeing her do some sketchy things around the house, and it's really starting to freak me out now. I'll start from the beginning. I have two siblings, my 10-year-old brother Jake and my 2-year-old brother Scotty. From the day he introduced her to us, I didn't like something about her smile. It was just unsettlingly
Hmm.
wide and exaggerated. Pretty soon he'd start bringing her around a lot more, and I just never loved her, honestly. But at first it was only because I felt something was off about her personality. Then things started happening. She's been staying with us for a while now, and a few
Yeah,
weeks
but I'm gonna take like a popular like sad point. But I feel like when somebody comes in like unless you're like hi guys like something like that like weird. Or if they're like trying to fake a smile because like they don't know you yet or anything. Like I feel like that's a little like common. But maybe like what happened is like they didn't do like this. They did like something else. Like a sparkle. Like I don't know something
ago,
like that.
I caught her in my dad's
Obviously,
closet
they
when I
know more
wasn't
than
home.
I do about this
My
person.
dad's safe is in his closet, along with where he hides
Oh,
the
they try.
combination of
She's
his
a
mother
gold digger. Oh,
valuables.
no, I'm not gonna
When
listen
she
to that.
saw me at the doorway, she smiled and said, "Hey, what's up, sweetie," to me, with her annoying, creepy smile. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say anything other than nothing. Then she shut his closet door, and I walked away to my room.
Mm.
I told my dad about it, but he didn't seem concerned. A few days after that, while my dad was at work again, I just got back from school, and I was walking upstairs to my room.
Mm.
And as I was, I saw Kathy leave my little brother Jake's room and shut the door behind her. I asked her what she was doing in his room.
Yeah.
She smiled and said, "I was just opening the window. It's hot in the house."
Mm.
I didn't answer and walked up to my room.
I mean,
When I heard her go downstairs eventually, I snuck to Jake's room to check if she actually had opened the window.
oh, she
And
had
both
it.
windows were shut.
Uh-oh.
Something was up with this lady, and I knew it. And I still know it. I told my dad again,
Yeah,
and in
that's a
response,
yikes.
he asked me to just please be patient with the situation and that he knows I don't care for Kathy. I didn't bother telling Jake. Fast forward to 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, my dad, and I were all not home, and Kathy was babysitting Scotty. I came home unannounced, but I wanted to be secretive about it because I wanted to see if I could catch her doing anything again. I snuck into the house and went to my room quietly. Eventually, from the kitchen downstairs, I started to hear Scotty crying. Not regular crying, like a very distressed kind of crying.
Like,
I heard
oh
Kathy
fuck.
screaming at the top of her lungs to shut the F up. It was the
Oh,
first time I heard her raise her voice,
what
and
the
I believe
heck?
it was the first time I was hearing her true colors come out. I ran downstairs to yell at her to leave my brother alone. She was startled and shocked that I was home, and for the first time, she didn't give me her creepy smile. She looked at me blankly and went downstairs and shut the door. I called my dad and told him right away, and that night, my dad had a conversation with her about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it went, but I assume not good, because that night, I woke up in the middle of the night to something and looked up into my room.
What's gonna
There
happen?
was someone in my room, and they quickly left the room and shut the door behind them. I got out of bed and opened my door, and as I got into the hall, I saw and heard my dad's bedroom door close. I went over to my dad's room and opened the door, and both Kathy and my dad were laying in the bed. I woke my dad up
What the heck?
furiously and told him Kathy was just in my room. She denied the whole thing, saying she was in bed. I don't know if my dad believed me or not, but he
Huh.
told me to go back to my room and he'd talk with Kathy. I obeyed, and I heard them whispering as I shut the door. I went back to bed, and I was scared. I'm still
Yeah.
scared. I want her out of the house and out of our lives. I think she's dangerous. Why was she in my room? It's freaking me out. I worry for my family's well being, and I don't know what we
Well,
can
she
do.
could be like the overly emotional type, like like she's trying to reconcile with you because something happened to her. I don't know. Like he's giving like enough detail to paint her as bad, but like I don't know. I just try to see like the best in people. Like I'm just that type of person.
This one goes back a few years ago to when I was 30 years old. I was at my condo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My condo, which I still own, is on the second floor of a
But some
decently
people
nice
do that.
building that I won't name for privacy reasons. Whenever I go down there, it's in the colder months up north, and I'm a complete beach bum when I go down there. Luckily for me, I work remotely from my job through my laptop and phone, so I've been able to retreat down there whenever I'd like. Fort Lauderdale is for the most part a pretty clean and safe city, and the specific location my building is in is no exception. That is, usually. It was the middle of January. It was late at night, past 10 o'clock. I was out on my balcony with my feet over the railing, on my laptop, when all of a sudden I heard from down below on the ground someone yelling something. They were yelling, "Yo," and "Hey, you."
Okay.
At first, I didn't
Yo, hey
move,
you.
taking the assumption that whoever it was talking to someone else.
Uh huh.
They couldn't possibly be
They
calling
were
out to
talking
me.
to me. Oh my
They
god.
followed with, "Hey, you up there." And my heart
Dude,
skipped.
I fucking hate this so much. I cause like because people have masks, right? I mean, you know, I was about to say because people have masks. I don't know if they're talking to me. I don't know. It's just like, ooh. Sometimes I just don't know if they're talking to me or the person next to me. I look at them. My mom and dad are like, I just. It's like fucking. I felt like something like scurrying to get something. But that wasn't the case. It's just like probably like for the batteries for the fucking system we have at our house. Oh, what was it the same? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, because like my professor the other day, I don't know if they asked me or the person next to me because they don't say my fucking name. No, like Ruben, please tell me. They're like you, please tell me. Like who the fuck are you speaking to, right? And that gets me mad. But, like I guess like in this situation, like these are complete strangers, right? And so I feel like that just sucks. Like in that situation, like they don't know because like it's happened. Like you know, like the stupid meme where like somebody's like waving at you and you like wave at them, but they were actually waving at their friend behind you or your friend or their friend I don't know like the side of you or something like that. That's what it feels like.
Because now I knew they were talking to me. And my
But yeah,
main
that's
question was,
scary.
why?
Yeah.
I set my laptop down on the chair and looked over the railing down to the ground below. There was a guy in front of a car in the parking lot, looking up at me, and he said, "Yeah, you." I asked, "What's up?" He told me to come down there so he could show me something cool. I took a better look at this guy. Some guy with a backwards hat and tank top on. I assumed he was just some punky kid messing with me,
What
so I
the
ignored him and
fuck?
sat back down. When I did that, I heard him laughing as he said, "I'm gonna come up there and skin you alive, you prick." I stood up again and looked at him. He had this unsettling and sinister smile on his face. I realized he looked older than I initially thought. He wasn't some
What
kid.
the fuck? Come down here. I want to show you something cool. I'll like 100%. Why I hate because like at my school they have these people that are like, hey, sign this petition, sign that petition, blah blah blah. Dude, if like one day like somebody just tells me that, like, okay, like I just hate that, right? I would say I'm just like venting about something totally not relating. Oh, she's scratching your shit. I'm rubbing against the wall. What the fuck? Like the wall's like over here. uh, there comes the mom. Hold up. Actually, she's not. Like she likes sleeping with my puppy now. ¿Qué pasó, mami? I think she's threatening me. You know what she did right now? Hold up. This is like the metal railing on my desk. Good. And she went like that. Like what the fuck? And then started biting it. She's not hungry because I just literally gave her to eat before I started streaming. Oh, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I was waiting for something to relate. Yeah, no, somebody just told me, "Hey, you, yo, come down here. I have something cool to show you." I'm like, nah, they're gonna like fucking do some weird shit, right? Fuck, dude. Oh my god, the other day, fucking Friday, yesterday, they gave me. It's like this random lady came up to me, and she had like a box, and because like my fucking, I don't know, it was a weird coincidence, right? I fucking was using the vending machine, but the fucking vending machine did not give me my Pop Tarts. So it's like, fuck, right? I was like, no. And like the lady who had the box apparently had like sweets there. I didn't ask them. They just came up to me and were like, hey, do you want one? And I'm like, yeah. So I fucking got one and just fucking ate it. Like out of sight at school. I don't know what was gonna say. For some weird reason, my mind was just like so distrusting. But the fact that I already took it, I was like, "Fuck, let me just eat it. I don't care." My $1.70 that I wasted on the Pop Tarts, I was technically spent on getting a free pastry.
I literally
But
opened
it's
my
because
mouth.
I spent like it was like yesterday. I so let me explain to you. So Thursday and Friday, I spent the afternoon there because at school, like until like 4ish around there, because basically I have an extracurricular activity to do those 2 days just that week because a very important thing is coming up for that activity um where I have to present and stuff like that. So I'm reading up for that. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's it. Fuck. Again, like I said, if somebody came up to me and was like, "Come here, show me something cool. I'll show you something cool," I'd be like, "Nah." Fucking lock my door, close the window, go inside, study inside.
To
If you're
shout something
knocking,
back at
not
him,
open the door.
but for some reason, I didn't bother. I grabbed my laptop and went inside and shut the sliding door.
Good.
I expected him to yell up a couple things afterwards, but I didn't hear him do so.
Hmm?
As uncomfortable as that made me, I felt much safer
Oh,
being
my mom just
inside.
came in, so let me just pause it. I told my mom buenas noches.
I chalked it up to just the occasional coked up Florida lunatic on the streets.
Okay.
But things became next level when the silence of the room was broken by pounding on my condo door,
Ooh,
accompanied with a voice yelling
scary.
obscenities and threats at me. It was the guy again. The bangs were
What
so
if they like?
loud I was genuinely concerned he was going to break the door down.
Ooh, fuck.
All I could do was yell, "I'm calling the police." That didn't faze him. His bangs turned to these carving and stabbing noises. It probably all lasted for about a minute or two, but felt like a century until he gave one more loud, angry bang, screamed one more obscenity at me, then left. I knew because I checked through the peephole. I called the police after the ordeal just to show them and report it to them. On the other side of the door, there were several stab marks in it, confirming
Oh
I did hear
god.
him stabbing at it and confirming this man had a knife. I pray nobody was harmed that night. I doubt he knew me. I think he was just a really drugged out,
Yeah.
crazy person looking to hurt someone.
Fuck. Okay, dude. Okay, I hate to like talk about like people that like use drugs like in this way, but like basically near the 7-Eleven where I go to sometimes just like get stuff like snacks, right? Um, there's a lot of crazy people by there, and I hate to call these people just crazy in general because they all have like different sorts of things that are going wrong in their life or just in the wrong state of mind, right? But what was I to say? God, like one of them scared me the other day because I was waiting on the bus station. There's like the bus station near there, and one of the people came from like the 7-Eleven, and dude, they were. I'm just gonna use doped up because I don't know what they were on, right? They were just like on their bicycle riding down the fucking street. Like there's these lanes in California at least where they're dedicated to like cyclers, right? People that use bicycles. This guy was just like right getting into like the fucking street, asking for money from cars and stuff. And he was going in fucking circles. He was like, imagine this is like the street right here. It was like fucking doing circles. I was scared out of my mind he was gonna come up to me and like threaten me because I'm waiting at a fucking bank station. I'm not in a fucking car where I'm safe, right? Or feel safer at least. I'm not saying that I'm no. I don't know. Hopefully that didn't come across bad, but like I'm trying to be like as polite as possible, right? But God, that freaked me out. And then like, it sucks. It sucks. Hope that person gets help though.
I once spent a night in jail. I know everyone says it, but I didn't do shit. I was
Hmm?
attacked by a bouncer at a nightclub in my hometown because some girl who I had history with was there, and she had the
Hmm?
nerve to lie to a bouncer and tell him I was touching her and her friends inappropriately, when I never even said
Yikes.
a word to them. The bouncer came and put his hands on me and started pushing me out of the club, and honestly, I pushed back in my drunken state. And of course, cops were outside the bar. And between a drunk guy and a club bouncer, who are they going to side with?
Yeah.
Well, I end up handcuffed in the back of a cop car and I'm escorted to jail, where I spent the night. All that was in this cell was one wooden bar for sitting on, and this other guy besides me. He asked what I'm in for, and I told him for bullshit. I took
Hmm.
one look at the guy, and I knew I didn't belong here. He had tattoos on his face, he was missing a front tooth, and he just had this face that said, "Don't mess
Yikes.
with me or I'll cap you." I didn't want to rub
Ap
him the
you. I've
wrong
never
way,
heard of
so
that.
I just tried talking
People
to
used to say deck. People used to say like fuck you up,
him if he
fuck
talked to
your
me.
shit, you
At
know,
one point,
rock
I
you up
did
or
open up to
something.
him a bit just because of my anger at the
Ways.
situation, and I needed to
What's
vent.
next? I'm gonna duck
During
you
this
up.
time, I told him some delicate info, like where I was from, which is definitely the nicer side of town. I told him how I had people over that night since my parents were away, and we all pre-gamed and went to the club. I basically told him the rundown of the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was drunk, I wanted to just try and sleep, but he'd keep talking to me and it was getting annoying. Eventually, I think he caught on and shut up. The next morning, we had to go to court because, yes, sadly, I was charged with assault and trespassing. Two bogus charges. My cellmate had to go too. I saw the judge before him, though. He was one of the other offenders in the back of the court
Yeah.
listening to my charges. I was released with a future court date set. A complete nightmare. But that night, when I was at home, and all the windows were open, so I heard everything from outside, I was hearing footsteps circling the house. Multiple sets of footsteps. I
Uh
started to
oh.
shut all my windows one by one on the first floor. Then I got to the backyard door, which is a sliding glass door looking out to the deck. I curiously flicked on the deck light,
I
and
was
indeed,
playing the Dragon
two
Ball
dudes ran
music.
out from the light into the darkness.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I recognized one of them to be my cellmate.
Mhm.
I closed the blind to the door and continued closing the rest of the windows. I couldn't believe he found me,
Yeah,
but he
that's
was obviously
scary.
there to rob our house blind after I told him how my parents were away. He must have seen dollar signs when I told him the side of town I was in, and he
Yeah,
probably
you
heard my name
shouldn't
called in a
fucking
courtroom.
say that.
One quick
That's why I
Google
don't
search,
say
and
where
I
the fuck I
sympathetically
live.
turned up my address. The two dudes took off, I believe, because I didn't hear from them the rest of the night. I never told my parents I was arrested, and because of that, I never told them about how my cellmate almost came and robbed our house.
Scary.
This is something that just happened to me, and I don't know how to feel about it other than freaked out. I'm not a spiritual.
Okay, this is like like your typical like intro to like resonance and frequency sort of thing in like physics class where you just rub your finger and feel the vibrations of the glass and stuff. But why does this be my like this also makes me think of like they're gonna fucking do a seance for this fucking story. I don't know
Person
why.
at all. I've been on and off seeing this guy named Spencer. I met him through a coworker one night when
That's
we
like
were out
wine.
together at a bar, and we
A
hit it
weird
off. I
um
finally introduced
portion of
him to my
video.
family, and while
It's
my
probably like
parents were
stock
indifferent
footage,
about
right?
him, my grandparents didn't really care for him, my grandma especially. They both said they
Uh
saw
huh.
something bad in him, that he doesn't seem like a good guy. My grandma mostly. This wasn't after one time
Yeah.
meeting, though. This was after I brought him around multiple times, and everyone could get a good idea about him. And honestly, I started to see what they meant, because Spencer and I would get into constant arguments, and he would lose his temper fairly easy on me. For this, we'd be on and off constantly.
Mm-hmm.
There was one night that I felt like he was about to raise his hands to me, but he held back and then calmed down. This was when I said, "I'm done," and dropped him. Or so I thought I was going to. My grandma was especially happy and said I could do much better. Then she went
Yeah.
on about how I should go find a nice Italian boy from a nice family like she always did. Anyway, not long
Like
after,
everybody has like their
my
own
grandma died of a
thing. I
heart
swear.
attack.
I was
During my
like, no
grieving,
quieres
I hung
alguien
a
de
picture of my
Mexico?
grandma
You
up
don't
on
want
my
somebody
wall in
from
my room
Mexico?
to commemorate her. This was only a month ago. It
No,
was
no,
a
because
horrible
like
month.
anything messed up,
And
just
out of
because like,
weakness, when
but
Spencer reached out to me 2 weeks
it's
ago, I
incredibly
answered, and we saw each other.
like
We had
I
been
don't know
seeing
how it
each
will
other
work
every
out.
night these past 2 weeks, and I really thought he had changed because we hadn't
Hmm?
argued a single time, and I just felt safe around him. Well, only a few days ago, Spencer and I agreed to be official boyfriend and girlfriend, and that night, I woke up to a crash in my room. I panicked and flicked on the lamp, and It took me a moment to notice the picture of my grandma wasn't on the wall anymore. I got up and saw the frame had fallen to the floor and cracked.
Okay.
The picture frame I hung of my grandma had fallen and cracked on the night I agreed to date Spencer. I held the frame in my hand, my heart in my throat, my whole body shaking. I called Spencer the next day and told him I think we should go our separate ways for a while, as my head isn't in the right place. And he blew up on the phone in anger. And that phone call proved my grandma was right about him.
Yeah.
That picture frame falling and breaking.
What's that?
What could have caused it?
Swear
There was no draft in the room. Even as I imagined that it was somehow a sign from my grandma, do you realize how freaking scary that is?
Yeah. That one's good. That one's good. That one's like your typical symbolism one, right? Like, you know, like you're like you think you hear your mother behind you, you look, you don't see her. You're like, why was I just reminding my mother? You go home, then you get bad news that like she passed away. You know, that's that type of good story. Nice. That one's good. That one's good.
I took my Jeep
That's
on a
good
road
for the
trip to
character
Colorado to do
to
some
have done that.
off-roading in the wilderness.
We're not
I was
characters.
doing a
I'm
bunch
like,
of trails in the
see,
red
this could be
Feather
real.
Lakes,
So like the
and
person,
I was ending the night off on the Dead Man's
these
Road
are
Trail.
stories. So like,
It was a somewhat challenging trail, but
it
the
like
scenery
doesn't.
was unbeatable.
You just have to know which
I
one's
packed
like
a
fake, which
sleeping
one's real,
bag
right?
and planned on sleeping in the back of my Jeep with the back seats folded down. I pulled somewhere off the immediate trail, just off the.
Like sometimes I like thinking of these as like real. Sometimes I like thinking of these as like
that was very unlikely. I guess people can call me a weirdo for
just
enjoying off-roading on my own and
creative.
camping alone, but I've always liked doing things solo. I use the word camping
My
because
puppy
I
ripped
consider
my
this to just be
fucking
local
wire.
camping.
Holy
Instead of being
shit!
in a
Look
tent,
at that.
I'm in the back of my Jeep in the middle of the woods.
Getting
I
better
ate some
about
of
it
the protein
though.
bars and other snacks I brought as my little dinner. Then I set up my sleeping bag in the back. In case you're wondering if I was doing this in the dark, I had the LED light bar on my Jeep on, which basically lit up the entire surrounding area pretty nicely. So I finally crawl into the sleeping bag, and I'd be lying if I said it's comfortable sleeping back there. It's the price to pay for off-roading in the sunrise for me.
Yeah.
I had the windows all closed to avoid bugs getting in, but I still heard everything outside. And then it happened.
Oh, okay. Okay. That sounds so good. Hold up. Just off roading and like camping or something. My mom bought my sister a fucking Jeep, dude. Well, I don't know, cause it's mine too. Technically, like it's not, it's for the both of us, right? Like, it wasn't like typical Jeep. It was a Renegade, Jeep Renegade. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking great, but it's not as big as like the actual Jeep, right? I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I don't know why. I just really want to get in it. It's sweet as fuck though. Like definitely my goal in the future is probably gonna be to buy a actual like super fucking mega expensive Jeep. So I can take wherever the fuck I want with like everything on it, right? And I don't care if I fucking crash it or whatever, right? That comes like in the future. Or like it gets like, I don't know, keyed. It's easy to fix anyway.
Out in the woods, followed by a short.
Like, a lot of these people are like, oh, I don't want to use an expensive car. I'm like, I don't care.
laughter.
That's what they're for, right? Not for
Deep
collecting.
into the trail I was. There's no way someone was just
I
walking around.
totally
down
would
there.
love that.
Not
Because
in
like,
this total
okay.
darkness.
The reason I'm saying that is because like I went to like the car dealership the other day with my mom and dad. Dude, the fucking hold up. See this chair? Ow, dude. Something's wrong with my fucking back right here. It hurts. It almost. That's what I'd imagine something stabbing you feels like. But like I know I'm like nothing's wrong with me. It's like hold up. It's like this chair. If I remember. Yeah, they fold forward, and above that you can hold the cushion back. I don't know. Fuck, we need to watch a good fucking video explaining this. Hold up, let me switch it up. Oh my god, it was so good, but they were. A verga, explotaron un carro. It blew up a car. I'm just kidding. It was a firework. Hold up. What am I looking at? Jeep. with seats folded in. Like you can practically sleep in one. Oh, hold up, let me show you all. It was super lovely. Too bad it was too expensive. It was like 80. No, yeah, it was 60. It would have come up to like 67K, which is almost 70K. And my mom and dad were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna get into that amount of debt because there's no way in the world we would." The guy was lovely though. He tried to help us, and we ended up getting a Jeep, Renegade, limited, whatever. It gets me sad because I'm like, fuck, I want to sleep with her, like have her on my bed, but then I'm like, no, she needs to potty train. He's on my bed again. I'm like, no, this is. I like, cause like I accidentally like blow up on her. Like that's just a bad thing about me. It's just like my patience is worse thin with my puppy. Just when it comes to like bad actions she does, not like easy things like oh she like, yeah she bit me, nothing like that. More like she pees, I'm like ah, and then I'm like oh wait I shouldn't scream. I'm getting better with that. That's why my mom sleeps with her because my mom is like more and yeah. So hold up, this is how it looks. So fucking great, dude. Cause like what you can do is like you can practically sleep back here, like pretty much, and like oh, it looks so fucking great. I swear, if you all ever like are looking at cars before you buy your actual car, just get in one of them and just be like, "Can I like?" It's sweet as fuck. And I'm not a car guy myself.
Wasn't actually
This
happening.
feel when I go like this with my
There
pinkies,
was
it just
one
feels
loud bang
way
on
better
my
than
rear
like
windshield, and I jumped up and practically dove over the two front seats
saying
into
if you
the
all think
driver's
I'm
seat.
weird.
And I started the car and drove as quickly as I could manage down the trail, scared they were running after me because I could only go so fast on this rocky terrain. I was scared to look in the rearview mirror, but when I did, I didn't see anyone through the red glow of my taillights.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. I was tired, but drove the rest of the trail until I was back on pavement. Then I drove for miles until I reached a motel. Some people have asked me, what if it was someone stranded who needed help? And I say, no way. No one's out there that late in the pitch black, laughing without a flashlight that deep on some trail. And they wouldn't bang on my windshield just once like that if they weren't trying to scare me.
Yeah.
People are messed up. Always watch your back and be woke to your surroundings.
It was totally bad. Roid Rage. Why is that their name? Roid
Few
Rage?
unexplainable events I've experienced in my life. I was home upstairs in
Dude, I
England,
said
getting a
that's
paper
why
for my history
I'll
class.
never do
As far as I knew, I was home
steroids.
alone. But apparently I was mistaken, as my
Dude,
mom's
Roid
voice
Rage is
called out from
scary as
downstairs,
fucking
yelling my name.
crazy.
I called back, what?
Just like,
She didn't answer.
yo,
So I
bro, I
was
gotta keep
slightly
up fucking
annoyed because I
desire.
didn't want to be interrupted from my train of thought
And
on
they're
the
like,
paper.
what the fuck
I
you say?
reluctantly got up to
Just
go
like,
downstairs and see what she
it's a
wanted.
yikes.
When I got downstairs, I looked
Um,
around for my mom, but she wasn't anywhere in sight. So I yelled out, Mom, and she yelled back my name in response. Her voice came from down in the basement. So I went to the basement door, but strangely the lights were off. I
huh?
called down the stairs, Mom, again, and she called back. I yelled out, What are you doing down there with the lights off? She didn't respond. I flicked on the light and went down the stairs. I heard my mom call my
Hmm?
name again as I was near to the bottom of the steps. It was getting weird. Each time she called my name, it sounded exactly the same. Like there was zero difference in inflection every
Hmm.
single time she said my name.
So, to like visualize to make this like auditorially denote this? How would I say? Just to give an example, right? It would sound like this: Brandon, Brandon, Brandon. You know, like ever so often, right? Not
I
super
yelled
like
out
in
Mom again,
succession.
and she once again yelled back my name. She was nowhere to be seen in the basement. But then I noticed the little crawl space closet
That's like a
door
little
was
hard to
open.
do, you know?
I
Just
call
talk
it
like
that
that.
because it's a weird
Unless you
closet
have
that
like
you
a
have to kind of
monotone voice like
crawl
me.
into, but it takes up a large chunk of the basement. That was
Oh,
the only
fuck.
place left in the basement that my mom could be. So I said, Mom, one final time.
That's
No answer this time. I went closer to the closet door and got on my knees just to try and look in. It was pitch black inside, and I was starting to get freaked out.
yeah.
I said, Mom, are you messing with me? There was
The
no response at
fuck?
all, just the quiet buzzing sound from the basement light. I got back up and for some reason decided to sprint back upstairs, slamming and locking the basement door behind me. I didn't know what I had just witnessed and heard,
Yeah.
but I went to grab the house phone and call my mom's cell number. It rang a few times until my mom picked up, and I learned that she was out grocery shopping. I
Yeah.
told her, but she didn't believe my story, of course. She thought I was messing with her.
Yeah.
It took half an hour of begging her to believe me that she finally went along with it. And when she and my dad were both home, we all went down to the basement together.
Yeah.
The closet door was still open. My dad went inside, but there was no one in there. This still remains to be the most haunting,
Yeah.
unexplainable experience of my life.
Jesus. No, what are those ghosts called? Ghosts that can mimic voices? Fuck. They're not called mimics. It's just not as a thing. When did Quora start doing you? Oh my god, you need Quora Plus now? Jesus Christ. Next thing you know, you're gonna need red and gold to watch to see the first few comments, dude. Holy shit. Interesting. Sorry, when I was younger and lived in a previous apartment with my family for 10 years, we had a demonic entity that would touch us and it appeared for the times as well and laid in the bed with a couple of us. What the fuck? What helped me was moving like 15 minutes away, but I understand it's hard to just pack up and leave. If you need someone to talk to, don't feel like you're alone or crazy. Okay. You know. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Voice mimicry is crazy. It's happened to me before. Where I think I've said this story before. Basically, the story goes like this. One day, my mom was just like, she just told me like a story, right? Like off the blue, out of the blue. She was like, en el rancho, a veces había unas personas que podrían reproducir tu voz. She said a little more like, en el rancho, sort of speak, right? But like that's how she grew up, or she grew up with. I don't know if she was. I don't remember if she was telling me a tale or that's how she exactly said it. But she was like blah 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 blah. Blah. She's like, mijo, quédate bien porque a veces va a haber. I think she was just teaching me really like, oh, like this story was just like, so like people wouldn't be like, hey kid, or hey kid, I know your mom, or hey kid, I'm your mom. Trying to be like something stupid like that, right? And so I'm pretty sure that's what the main point of this story was, right? So like I want to get robbed as a kid because I'm like, oh, this stranger's my mom now? Cool. you know? So what was I gonna say? Um, but um the part that like scares me is like right after she told me that story, I swear I heard my mom's voice outside the house or something. But it maybe have been my mind playing tricks on me. Because I'm a little fucking kid. And so like I told my mom, and then she was like, "No, there's nobody fucking yelling that out." But she still locked the doors.
I was only about 9 years
But
old when
yeah,
this
pretty sure it was my imagination. And yeah, I don't want to talk close the door over here. You know what? I think because it's getting like late, because like, I really don't want to stream for like that long. I'll be streaming tomorrow anyways. This would be like the last thing we watched today. What time is it? 2 hours is pretty
Happened.
decent.
I was sleeping over my grandma's house for the weekend, which
Oh,
I
and I
often
forgot
did
to
when I was
tweet out
little.
that I'm live today.
It was a stormy day out, and my grandma was out at the nearby grocery store getting ingredients for dinner. I was in the living room watching SpongeBob when the phone rang. There was obviously zero reason for me to answer the phone, but you know, I was a little kid with a little kid brain. There's no
Uh huh.
explaining any decisions made. I went to the kitchen and picked up the phone, and after my little kid voice said hello into the phone, the man's voice on the other end said, "Can I speak to the adult in the house?" I said, "She's not home," and the
Yeah.
voice
Oh,
responded,
that's
"So
never happened to
you're
me, pretty
all
much.
alone right now." I remember I paused for a second, then said, "Yeah." Even at my age, I knew after he asked that it probably wasn't a good idea to have picked up the phone. The person on the other end then asked if the current address he had on file was correct, but I didn't answer that. I hung up the phone, and now I was nervous. I was worried I might have just gotten my grandma in trouble. Nonetheless, I went back to watching SpongeBob. 20 minutes later or so, there was a frantic knocking at the door. I muted the TV and listened. Along with the knocking, someone on the other end cried out, "Please help." It was a man. I snuck over to the edge of the wall where the opening for the front door was to
Yeah,
take a
this
peek
story's
and see if I
scary.
saw anyone standing.
Okay, cause like, okay, we used to have home phones here in my house, so we used to have like a landline, right? To like call people or whatever whenever we were at the house. Because we had this because it was like an ancient thing, right? Because like nowadays we all have our cell phones, so we can all pick up whatever fucking business calls or whatever, right? We want. But back then, I forget when yeah, it was just like yeah, I'm gonna say 2007 is when we got our landline again. I'm pretty sure we had one maybe like a year before. Yeah, like even when we were here since I was small. I remember my mom would always like try to, because I remember even back then I just didn't like how my voice sounded because like my voice was super fucking. But it's not like a voice thing where like oh I still hate my voice. I like my voice now. Like sometimes I'm just like oh it's just I just can't control my voice sometimes. Sometimes it just goes from like hi guys my name is Ruben to like hi guys. It sucks. I don't know if it's something like that growing up. But I remember my mom would always try to make me like do these things where like it's like the voicemail would actually not be my mom. It'd be like, hola, buenas tardes. Soy el hijo de mi mamá. Bla 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 bla. Por favor responda. Y mamá le hablará de nuevo. Gracias. Bye. Something like that. It'd be like a voicemail, right? And it'd be me. It was super cute of my mom to do, but I fucking hated it because I was like, ew. Because like in my head, I was like, I'm like super fucking manly, and like my fucking real self was like, hi guys. Everybody has high pitched voices. But what was I say? So I remember because we had like a landline, I would always pick up calls because I was always at the house. Um, before 2007. Oh yeah, yeah. This is definitely before 2007. Yeah. I don't know when this takes place. 2006, 2005. But I'm definitely like at the house, right? Because this is before like preschool. No, no, because like preschool. No, I don't know. 2004, 2003, something. No, not 2002. 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, right? And I'm like at the house, and then I answer. I pick up the phone, and I'm like, "Hola." I made it up in 2006. Fuck, I don't know. It's sometime when I fucking could speak well, right? Because I remember like 2004. Just suddenly, I just like, whoop, oh, I'm in this world now, and then I'm like, guess I like, what am I doing? Because like, it just like suddenly like my consciousness just turned on. Like I swear that's how I fucking. And after that happened, I started remembering stuff. It's so weird. Before that, I just did not remember anything. It's funny because I was playing like Xbox and Spyro, and that's like my first fucking memory. And then like after that, I like jumped on the bed and hit my head. That's my first fucking memory. But what was I gonna say? The reason I'm bringing this up is because I had to pick up like phone calls and always bring them to my mom. Basically, a mom here calling me, and yeah, they would always ask me. Like, I don't know, like usually at that age, because I remember even later on, like when I was like 12, they would probably not like care who. Well, no, they cared about who answered. They're like, oh, I'll call later, right? And stuff like that. But like once it was like 13 and onward, what was I gonna say? Like then they started to be like, oh yeah, just tell your mom, or oh man, I can't call her anymore. Please tell her, blah, 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 or like call my dad or something. And it'd be these would be more like like bills and stuff. I forget what type of bill. I think at the time we took out the car and like they were setting up like shit up or
On
something.
the other side of the door
I don't know. It was
flashing
like
lights at
other
the top of
bills
the
too,
door.
like hospitals.
That was a mistake, because I did, and they saw me too. The man on the other side of the door
But yeah,
immediately
and
said,
this has
"Little
never
boy,
happened to me.
please open the
To
door.
where
I'm hurt
like
bad."
there's like a man that's like, "Is this your address? Just tell me." And like they just fucking show up, right?
I ran to the
Though I
corner of
will
the room
admit
by
it
the
has been a
window and
fear of mine,
closed the blinds so I could hide behind the couch. I was so scared. I
and it
had
was
no
an
cell
irrational
phones
fear
back
too.
then.
So
I
like it
couldn't
wasn't a
call my
fear that like,
grandma.
oh, I started watching ghost
The
stories,
man
and now it's
kept
a fear.
pounding on
It
the
was
door.
just like one
His
that just
cries
popped
for
into
help
my head.
turning more
Like,
annoyed
yeah,
sounding, and his knocks got louder and more frequent.
thanks.
Then the pounds on the door stopped, and he started knocking on the window right next to me. The creep started saying things like, "I'm not gonna hurt you," and "Please, I'm bleeding bad." I started to cry in the corner, still hiding behind the couch. The pounding stopped finally, and after a minute, I ran to my grandma's room and locked the door. I laid in her bed under the covers with only my head sticking out. The rain hitting the windowsill and the occasional distant thunder was weirdly calming, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
The man on the other side appeared at one of the windows and started trying to lift it open. Thank God all the windows were locked.
Yikes.
Now I hid under the covers.
That's scary. And like that also reminded me of like a memory fuck. Cause like whenever like people would come up to like the door and just be like asking for my mom or dad, I would always just fucking run to my room. Cause my mom just scared me. She scared me. She's like made it sound like people were fucking trying to rob me if I opened the door or something. It was a thing until like the age of 13 when I fucking was like, and then started fucking chit chatting screen door. Because before then I would just fucking do whatever that guy did. I'd run to my room or my mom's room or something and just stay there. Yeah.
Completely, and I don't think he saw me in there. This was the last time I saw or heard that man. 20 minutes later, I heard my grandma come in through the front door. I ran into her arms, crying and apologizing,
Mm-hmm.
and told her everything. She, of course, called the police, and when the officers needed me to give whatever details I could, my grandma called me into the room and I answered their questions. Then she sent me back off to the guest bedroom to watch TV. Unfortunately, that man was never caught, for this at least. My grandma never told my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me not to tell them either. But she also never left me alone again anytime I slept over after that,
Yeah.
which wasn't many times. Long story short, I was one unlocked door away from undoubtedly being kidnapped.
Oh my god,
I'm a
dude.
father of two kids.
The other day though, I'll tell you why. Like still like this distrust of like the door, opening the door and answering to people still kind of lingers. Cause like my dad told me, oh yeah, go get your free Obama care phone. Cause like, I'm like, why the fuck would I want an Obama care phone? And I'm like, because like this happened like the other week too. Fucking, they came knocking to me to the door, and my dad answered right. I'm like, oh, quieres un celular, blah blah blah, because like, they found out my dad fucking yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's a red flag. And I was just so distrusting. But the fact was like I didn't know that they were actually from like this California program. It's like a legit program, just me. It was like, oh fuck, the government's like wiretapping me or something. Like they're like listening to the fucking phone or like, oh, they're wiretapping my dad or my mom or something. Instead, it was like an actual thing. But like that wasn't my main reason for distrusting me. That guy, I was just like, oh fuck, this sounds like a fucking mega scam. Like we're gonna give you a free phone, man. like te vamos a dar un celular gratis. Si nomás firma aquí, me da tu identificación y su. And they did ask me social security, but I was like 100% sure it was almost going there. And I'm like, oh fuck, this sounds like a scam, and like this guy's just gonna just like run away with that, right? But basically, my dad actually got a fucking free phone, but like take a 2013, 2012 phone and it runs so fucking slow. Like you go left, right? Like even his like Android phone that he has runs way better. That he gets like for practically free from Metro PCS runs way better than that phone, right? And the guy said that we'll keep on coming back and back, and I'm like, oh, shit. What was I gonna say? Um, practically, um, like my dad brought me to the door, right? And he was like, "Oh yeah, do you want a free phone?" And I'm like, "No." And the guy, it kept on insisting, right? And then that's when he tells me we're gonna keep on coming back until you get your phone. Okay, right? Like, I'm not gonna get a free phone. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like a crappy ass Android like phone. Like, like I hate to say like it's like I don't want to like just keep it there as e-waste, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Like spare parts? No, and even using it as a burner phone is kind of like pointless because the whole point of a burner phone is like it does its job well, and you can just like whatever, like just burn it or whatever, or just like you lose your data. Oh well, right? That's the whole point of one. Like it's like not supposed to be like your number one device to go to for like Facebook or something. Though you can have like a secondary account or something. But what was I gonna say? The whole main point is that the guy wanted to like buy my dog, my puppy. Hold on. The guy wanted my puppy so badly, dude. This is my puppy. I am not kidding you. Super fucking adorable. Super fucking adorable. This is my puppy in her fucking fit, right? He's like he's like, can I have her? And well, first this is how the conversation went, right? The guy that gave the free phone to my dad was like, oye, ¿de dónde agarraron esa perrita? ¿Y todavía tienen? And my dad was like, oh, my his aunt, no, my wife's I don't know. Wait, what was? Yeah. Oh, no. I'm just gonna use la prima de mi hijo tuvo unos perritos y los dio uno. And then he's like, oh, todavía tienen más? Do you guys still have some more? And my dad was like, no, unfortunately, you don't have any more. Yeah, no, todavía no tenemos. No, ya no hay, porque pues ella ya se los dio la última perrita que tuvo. And then he was like, ¿me la puedo llevar? He's like, the puppy was like, apparently like at his feet, just like looking at him. And then my dad was like, no. And so he was like, can I buy her off you? ¿Lo puedo comprar la perrita de... Yeah, ¿puedo comprarles la perrita? No, no, no. ¿Les puedo comprar la perrita a ustedes? Or, yeah, something like that, right? Because he didn't use cachorro. He just said a perrita. Like, my dad was like, no. And the guy kept on like you said like one more or two more sentences about like something like that, and I just kind of felt a little like oh fuck because like that made me a little more nervous because I was still distrusting and I'm like fuck what if, like A, he knows where we live, and B, this isn't the first time this shit has happened. Or like they're like can I have the dog, something weird. Try to do something weird to get the dog, So I was just like automatically like, distrusting. But I'm pretty sure the guy was just like, like fuck, like just shot his shot to get the dog. He's like, she's pretty fucking cute. Like, look at her in this fucking picture. What? She looks like a fucking dog. She's not. She's like a fucking dog. She's just like, oh. I'm gonna lay down. She's just like, it's her. Like, I'm pretty sure it's because like not the suit isn't too tight on her or any. Like it's a little like how do you say it? It's like large on her, kind of like bigger than it looks on the picture. Right? Like I'm pretty sure it's just the arms are stiff, or she just doesn't like enjoy actually being like a suit. But yeah, it was it was funny. It's so cute, cute picture. Yeah, like imagine my dad said like, yeah, that'd be so fucked. I'd be so mad. Be like, what the fuck? What?
They're
¿Por qué si se
15 and 10. My wife was out of the house at the time of this happening. I was in my room taking a nap in the middle
Why did I
of the
bring that
day.
up? Oh, because
My
like yeah,
older son is
weird people.
always in and out all day, every day with his friends. So when I heard the front door constantly opening and closing, it didn't concern me. But eventually, when I heard the storm door slam shut for a fourth time, I started to get
Mm-hmm.
annoyed and whistled at him to quiet down. I started hearing other loud noises from across the hallway, in the direction of my younger son Keith's room. I imagined he was playing with his wrestling toys or something. Regardless, even with my door shut, the noise got to be too much. It was just like a constant thumping sound. Like, what could Keith possibly be doing? When I went across the hall to his room, the noise became more clear, and it was this literal thumping on the wall sound. I went into his room. The door was already opened. I said Keith's name angrily, but I didn't see my son. I saw some grown man facing the wall, banging his head into the wall. There was blood on the wall
Why
from
is
his
this so
constant
compressed?
banging. The man gave me a side glance without turning his whole head. I managed to tackle the man to the floor, and that's when Keith emerged from under his sheets where he was hiding.
Mm-hmm.
The man didn't fight back. He started yelling this psychotic mumbo jumbo, proving his lacking sanity. I told Keith to go get the house
Yikes.
phone while I held the man down. After calling the police, I was in that same position for at least 5 minutes before they arrived. The man just kept smiling and laughing and saying things that made no sense the entire time.
Yeah, that's
The man was
scary.
ill or on
Ooh.
some serious drugs, or both. I didn't press
Maybe with you,
charges,
he's
but
generally
I'm sure
speaking
he
a
was
different
taken
language.
somewhere to get the help he clearly needed and to get him off the streets.
Siranush Garden.
I've had many night terrors in my life, and I've struggled with many sleeping disorders. Hell, I can't
Mm-hmm.
even count how many times I've experienced sleep paralysis. It's a truly disturbing thing. I've also woken
I
to
hate
seeing
sleep
spiders
paralysis.
and other giant bugs in my bed countless times, for them
That
to
again,
only disappear as I
with my
sleep.
sleep paralysis, that has never happened. I swear. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, my sleep paralysis is like usually just me not being able to move, but sometimes I can see stuff like with the stories they say, or rather with the few stories that said that I actually see stuff. But yeah,
To
that,
snap
that
back to
sucks.
reality. But the hallucinations are always so real and vivid. I always find myself jumping out of my bed screaming, throwing pillows at the non existent bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And don't even get me started on the constant nightmares I have. There was one stressful week of school that I was
Yeah,
up to my ears in homework with all my classes, and I was admittedly exhausted mentally and physically.
yeah, I know, dude.
With half of my assignments due the next day, which was Friday, I was up extremely late for a school night. It
No fucking. You know, I feel like back then, genuinely before like Canvas was a thing or some form of Canvas is a thing, people were lucky to have been able to like work in the night. Cause now you can't do that anymore. Like fuck, that sucks. Cause all the assignments aren't like, oh, they're due like the next day in the morning. No, they're like dead set on fucking like 11:59. You don't turn it in by 11:59, you're done. Like you know what I mean? It's like back then, like maybe like the 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s, you'd probably be able to like pull off like, oh teacher, I did the assignment all in the night. You know, you're like up until like 4 in the morning doing the assignment for this one class, the first class you have. Then the second class you have, you already had the assignment done. The third class you finished it before the first class's assignment. You know, you could do that. Nowadays it's like 11:59 or you didn't turn it in. And that's fucking
had to
that
be like
fucking
3 a.m.,
sucks, you know?
and I had to be up in 3 hours.
Like for me, I remember even like seventh grade was like the last time. Uh, like I like finally didn't Well, that I didn't that I could fucking do homework like late at night, and even then I wouldn't do it like every day. Like I'm not that one. I'm not those students that like do it every day, right? Like, oh, I'm up to like 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning doing my homework. Rather, at least back then, because like for college, that's a little different. It's like some days, it's like fuck. I remember I did have those college class that actually made it do like early in the morning, like the fucking stuff. But that was like just one class. And it always reminds me of me doing my homework ever so often. And I don't know, ever so often, doing your homework in the night isn't so bad. It's just nice sometimes. It's like I'll be honest, like it's really fucking. At least in my house, it's really fucking quiet. And like I get to concentrate. It's cool. Like fuck, I'd hate. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like where I'm at if I had to do that every day. You know what I mean? Because like I wasn't paying attention or something. For example, tomorrow, oh no, Monday I have stuff to do, right? But like it's still like 11:59, and like partly me just like I want to do everything like Monday, but then I'm like, well, no, that's fucking stupid. I should just do everything tomorrow and just get done with it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And also, that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. Actually, not late night homework. Rather, I'm gonna be finishing. Maybe not even setting up a lab. So I'm like, I have my puppy. So like, that's what I want to end right now after this video. But what was I gonna say? I'm probably gonna end up doing a little bit of math homework or something. Like not like I'm not gonna like do anything serious like, oh, I gotta get this done or anything like that. I'm just gonna be like, I get like 3 problems done. That's a win. Hey, I did it. Or I get 2 problems done, or even one or half one. You know, good job, me. Fuck.
When I finally finished all of my assignments, I literally crashed into bed.
I swear
I was
that's
out
the
cold
best feeling
faster
ever.
than I could remember. And that night, I was having a bad dream again. The best
Yeah,
I
I
could
forgot this guy
describe
was
this
having bad
bizarre
dreams.
dream. I was for some reason in this linear building that I was trying to escape, and in each passing room, I kept finding candies, like it was a Halloween attraction.
No
In the
manches.
building, I saw a door.
Ah, that dream sounds bad. Whoa. Okay. He's like, fuck, dude. My the building I had to go to my engineering class. That's that. No, the building I have to go to my engineering class. The building where my I'm getting a fucking letter of recommendation. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, that's the email I was fucking waiting for. Hold up. So yeah, I definitely have to end now to fucking respond to my professor. Anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, dude, that fucking building, maze like. Oh my god, you like the first few days I went there to my engineering class, you had to go like you go to the first door to get to like the second floor or like the fifth floor if you want to. Like I had to go to the fifth floor for my extracurricular activity. Like you'll get there in like 5 minutes. Like if you take the second door, you get there in like a minute. Holy shit! It took me a long time to figure that out. It took me like 3 days to figure that out. But now that I know that the second door always gets to my classes like the fastest, I'm gonna take that fucking second. But what was I gonna say? I hate that because like it's like maze like, but like always just almost they're not endless, but like they're not like the hallways I expected to like see. Because like at my school, the hallways are small. It was an outdoor campus, but they were like A building, B building, C building, D building, E building, blah 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 blah, blah, right? And it was a small place, so there weren't many students. So like there wasn't like people waiting outside in lines and stuff like
From
that.
something, and the something I was running away
And
from
that
kept
sucks.
laughing.
I hate that.
It was a child's laughter, and it sounded like it was coming from everywhere. What caused me to wake up was when I made it to what was presumed to be the final door of the building. The laughing was the loudest now, and when I opened the door,
Keep my
I
doing
woke
faces. I
up
don't
in
know
the
why I
bed.
did faces.
I couldn't move.
Oh, I hate
It
them.
was happening again. Then there was a laughter from the middle of the room. I moved my eyes to focus to the middle of the room. There were 4 people standing in the center of the room.
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god, I
Oh,
hate
man.
this fucking video. Oh my god. Fuck you. That actually got me. Holy shit. Let me close my fucking door. Because that's what I'm saying over there. Because I'm like, fuck. I don't like this. No, not the stories, but rather like, I'm like, dude, my mind's just like being irrational. Like, what if I see something there? Fuck that, dude. Oh my god. I thought he was gonna go with the typical 3, 4 people. Fuck that. Hold up, I'll be back right now. I love it. Yo. Fucking hate that, dude. Yeah. They're gonna be like shadow
Male
people.
and female, and then a small boy and girl. They were all holding hands and they were all laughing, looking at me with giant grins on their faces, impossibly wide grins. And as I felt this tight pressure in my chest, which is common in sleep paralysis, I started to feel like they were getting bigger, or just getting closer, like they were all floating towards me. When my body finally permitted, I threw the sheets off of me and threw my pillows into the middle of the room and screamed. But the pillows hid nothing, as the 4 figures were gone, and the horrible laughing had stopped. I had never experienced a hallucination like that, and I have had sleep
Yikes.
paralysis many times. I had to see my doctor the next day, who prescribed me new medication. Since then, I've still had my share of night terrors, but nothing even close to that.
Yeah, okay. And the good thing is like he's getting help, presumably from a psychiatrist. Because like that's an actual. I don't know. If I kept on getting sleep paralysis day after day, I would 100% visit a psychiatrist, dude. I don't know. I'd be like, hey, can I get like some sleeping medication or something? You know, like I cannot go to sleep. You know, that's. That one was pretty fucking horrible. 'Cause I know how it is to have sleep paralysis. I was like my sleep paralysis is like, oh, I'm gonna fucking beat you the fuck out, fucking weird ghost. You know, it's like I'm like moving my fingers and then I wake up, right? It's like the worst thing I've seen in sleep paralysis is a guy hanging, and then another thing is like a woman going like that, and then just like disappearing in like split second because my sleep paralysis is like really fast. Fuck. And with that, we fucking end. Yeah, that last story was yikes. But yeah, that's why I like this channel. I swear, fucking like the video, subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. Yeah, fucking good night, good day, whatever it is. And yeah, bye everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe later on. I don't know. I need to crunch some stuff out. I'd say later on today. I don't know. Probably not. Like I said, I want to do homework. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye.